Alright, I fixed my internet, so this should work. Anyway, was it over the Bush, who currently have a 5-game lead over Chicago in that NL Central race. The Brewers, red medal, dealt with some adversity. Cardinals have had Marcelo the Tuna shaken up the of the season. As let's just, before we get started, take a quick look at the standings right now. The Nationals lead the NL East. Cubs have had to play in the Central. The Cardinals, Brewers, Cubs all together, so this is going to be a big set of games. Then the West, the Dodgers have a 5-game advantage over the San Francisco Giants. American League, the Red Sox 43-28 in a big series in Seattle right now, taking on the Blue Jays, who are a game and a half back. Then the Orioles, Yankees, and Rays. The AL Central, the Indians and Twins are tight-knit. In the West, the Mariners have an 8-game lead over Houston. And then league leaders, Justin Turner leading batting-wise in the National League, Dustin Pedroia in the American League. Alright, let's just get the ERA leaders. Garrett Richards has been great. Max Scherzer has been just as strong. They're separated by just .01 of a run right now. Most wins, though. Jake Junis just got to double digits today for Kansas City in a win over the Astros. So in just a moment, we'll get started. A reminder, we'll have the NPCS finale tomorrow as Stenhouse, Larson, Busch, and Harvick go for a title. So anyway, we'll be back in 1 minute for the start of the game. We didn't the other day, so whatever. Mark. So coming to the plate, veteran catcher Yadier lined up the first pitch to Baez. The right, and the Cubs get started. Plays and are currently tied with the Stir. Carpenter puts the tag. This is the look at the James Kingsley. Then Gary Simmons, Pat John Bowler. The James are without a franchise. Lost Addison Russell at the beginning of the year. Marcelo Zuna was hurt for the Cardinals, and now Eric Thames dislocated his ankle after crashing into the wall, making an amazing catch. He is done for the season, so that's going to hurt this Brewers team, as Jason Hayward caught looking at the curveball on the inner part of the plate. First out of the game, first strikeout for Reyes, and that'll bring up the heart of this Cubs order. Chris Bryant hitting .319 this season. He's been on a hot streak, hitting .333 over his last 10. Then Schwarber, Rizzo, Wilson Contreras, Happ, Darvish, and then Ben Zobrist brings up the back end of that order. Here's Bryant, .319, top 10 in the NL in hitting, and second in the NL in homers, just trailing Nolan Arenado, who is leading him in every other category. You'd think of Bryant, maybe an MVP caliber season, .319, 22 bombs before the All-Star break, but Nolan Arenado has had his match .340 with 23 bombs. As Bryant dribbles the first pitch foul, nice fielding play there by the ball boy, 0-1. So Baez with a leadoff single off the shift. Jason Hayward struck out looking. The 0-1 to Bryant. He's going to watch that one go low and away on a fastball. 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike. The pitch to Chris Bryant. He's going to dribble one to third base. This is a double play ball. No, he's going to go the long way to first, but a nice play down at third base by Jed Jerko to get the relatively speedy Bryant. Baez moves into scoring position, though, with 2 outs. Jerko could have tried for 2, but he just went the safe way for 1. Kind of awkward throw. And here's Kyle Schwarber. Now, in the 2016 season sim, Schwarber hit 194 with 34 home runs. Last season, he hit sub 230 more bombs. This year, he's hitting 208 and already has 11, so he's on pace to maybe get that again. First pitch is a fastball in there, strike 1. And Reyes is really going with a 2-pitch repertoire right now. It's just a fastball and that 12-6 curve that has been effective to everyone he's thrown it to. He's going to throw in the changeup for the first time all day, and that one's off the plate, 1-1. Reyes checks back on Baez. The 1-1 pitch to Schwarber. Swing and a miss on a 2-seamer, 1-2 the count. Another check back on the runner. 1-2. Popped foul. We'll have updates about all the other games going on tonight, including Red Sox Mariners, David Price against King Felix, Dodgers and Giants, it's Maeda against Mad Bum, Indians Twins, who are close together in that AL Central, Bauer against Odorizzi. 1-2, Schwarber goes down, that's 99 miles an hour from Reyes. He strikes out a pair and strands the leadoff man. No score, Cardinals coming up here on WUB Network's presentation of Saturday Night Baseball. Here's Yu Darvish, first season with the Cubs. Pretty good so far. All you could ask from him, 5-5, 3.05 ERA, getting some solid innings, 94 strikeouts. And the biggest thing, knock on wood, he has not been hurt yet this season. And a Cubs rotation that has already seen John Lester on the 10-day DL and Mike Montgomery on the 10-day DL, which is part of the reason why they are 5 games back of St. Louis. And with a depleted bullpen, they really need this help from Darvish. First pitch, Colton Wong is going to be fouled off to the left side. Wong hitting 262 this season. And when you look at the averages in this Cardinals lineup, so many good hitters on this team. An update from Chavez Rabin. Buster Posey just notched a 2-run homer off Kenta Maeda to give the Giants a 2-0 lead. 0-1 to Wong is going to be up and in, 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike. The pitch to Wong is going to be dribbled foul, 1-2. Darvish just shook off Contreras a couple times. I think he wants to go back to that heater. Let's see what he does. 1-2. He does, and he's going to miss. So maybe that's why Wilson was a little apprehensive about that pitch. Anyway, we're even 2-2. Wong, a good hitter, but he's also got good plate discipline. On-base percentage near the top on the Cardinals. 2-2. That pitch is going to get away from Darvish. 3-2. Dexter Fowler, who's having a great season, in the absence of Marcell Ozuna, stands on deck. 3-2. Wong dribbles that one foul, and the count remains full. Three and 2 to Colton Wong. 7th pitch of the at-bat, driven right field, playable for Hayward. He'll bring it in. That's the first out here of the first inning in a 7-pitch battle. So here's a look at the lineup. Dexter Fowler bats second, Tommy Pham third, then Paul DeJong, cleanup hitter. Watch out for him. Carpenter, Jose Martinez, Jerko, Molina, Reyes. Just great production up and down the lineup. And Paul DeJong, in his second season, has really become a star here. And even with no Marcell Ozuna, this team has gotten great. Here's Dexter Fowler batting from the left side. The pitch, a swing and a miss from Darvish, 0-1. Cardinals right now with the five-game lead over the Cubs, but only a 2.5-game lead in the division with Milwaukee 2.5 back here in the season sim. But as we said, Eric Thames out for the season after an injury today. 0-1 is up and away, 1-1 the count. Darvish's pitch count could already eclipse Reyes's 11 from the first inning. Here through 2 batters, as that one's going to be a cutter that misses upstairs. 2-1 the count. No score, bottom of the first inning, just getting started here at Busch Stadium. 2-1 to Fowler, that's going to miss low. 3-1 the count. It's Tommy Pham who waits on deck. The 3-1 offering to Fowler. Swing and a miss on a 2-seamer. Great movement there, and the count gets to full. The reigning AL Cy Young winner, Aquilino Coleco of the defending world champion Orioles, just had a great start. 8 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, and struck out 10 en route to an Orioles 4-1 victory over the Marlins. Anyway, 3-2. Fowler goes down swinging on the 4-seamer. First strikeout for Darvish, and that's the second out of the inning. Took him 13 pitches to do it, but a fly out and a strikeout. And Darvish has retired the first 2 batters in this potent St. Louis lineup. And that'll bring up Tommy Pham. And this 3-4-5 of Pham, DeYoung, and Carpenter has been very dangerous. Originally, Tommy Pham wasn't even one of the starters this season. He was coming off the bench when Ozuna was the third outfielder. But of course that has changed with Marcell Ozuna out for the season. 1-0. And Ben Zobrist for the Cubs has had to take an almost everyday shortstop role. Tommy La Stella, Mike Freeman also getting some time playing at shortstop this season in Addison Russell's absence after his ankle injury. 2-0 is in there, strike 1. But the Cardinals, without Marcell Ozuna requiring Tommy John surgery, he might actually miss the beginning of next season. So, Cardinals not going to get what they wanted out of Ozuna, who only played 16 games and left second in the National League in batting average. As this one's flown left center, long run for Ian Happ. He gets there, and Darvish retires the Cardinals 1-2-3 in the first. We'll head to the second. No score here at Busch Stadium between the Cubs and the Cardinals. It's Saturday Night Baseball on WUB Network. Here's Anthony Rizzo, 323 average, a little better than Bryant. He's also got 17 homers and an on-base percentage over 400. And as we're about halfway through the season, that is difficult to carry for this long of a time. Reyes with the windup, the first pitch of the inning. Rizzo checks his swing, watches a curveball, drop low, ball 1. So Anthony Rizzo, the 5-man in the order, batting here. And then Wilson Contreras and Ian Happ due up here, 5, 6, 7 for the Cubs. 1-0, Rizzo plunks one, shallow left, coming out to Young, he dives, he's not going to get it though. Grabbing it quickly in left field was Fowler, but anyway, it's a leadoff single for Anthony Rizzo. DeYoung also almost made a Gold Glove play there on the blooper by Rizzo. He got close to making the diving catch, but just couldn't bring it in. Wait, actually, who was that in left field? No, that was Jose Ramirez. Fowler is playing in right field, rather. So, for the second straight inning, the Cubs lead off with a single, and Reyes has to pitch from the stretch. A curveball misses low, ball 1. Also in this division, although the two teams are out of it, the Pirates beat the Reds today 4-1 after Ron Nielsen went 7 innings, striking out 8 along the way. The 1-0 to Anthony Rizzo is going to be high and inside, 2-0 the count. Pardon me, not Rizzo, Wilson Contreras. Contreras, the catcher, came up in 2015. 2-0, that's going to miss low and away, 3-0 the count. So over the last 3 season sims, the Cubs have a title. The Royals beat The Blue Jays beat Chicago in the World Series in the 2015 season sim. 2016, it was Chicago. 3-0 is going to be high, and Reyes walks Contreras on 4 pitches. Anyway, the Cubs that year beat the Red Sox in 16 in the World Series. Then 2017, which was the last season sim, it was the Orioles taking down the Dodgers. And right now, it's just by records, it would be the Cardinals playing Seattle. As here's Ian Happ hitting 275. As you saw in here, yesterday's game between the Boston and Seattle to open that series was amazing. As Robinson Cano's big hit ended up sparking the victory. Swing and a miss, strike one on the nice changeup from Reyes. First and second, nobody out. First real offensive opportunity for either side. No score, top of the second. 0-1 is going to be inside at the knees, 1-1. Darvish stands on deck, so depending on the situation, he could have a very important at bat. 1-1 is going to be in there, strike 2 on the upper part of the zone, 98 from Reyes, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2. Ground ball up the middle, this could be 2. Glove flip to Young, fire from Wong to first, Carpenter makes the stop, and a double play. No, King Jonathan, I do not, but I might try that at some point soon. That would probably be better quality anyway. Anyway, look at that bare hand by Wong and fire to first. And now Darvish is going to have to swing and not bunt, as that extinguishes any real threat here from Chicago. Runner on third, 2 outs with Darvish up. As that pitch is up and away, ball 1. So a reminder for everyone here, tomorrow night, the Progressive Cup Series finale, the season finale at Charlotte as Stenhouse, Larson, Harvick, and Busch battle for a title. And we got Speed Weeks on the way for the upcoming season coming up. Some big announcements, can't wait to make some of those. As Darvish has taken the first 2 pitches, 1 high, 1 inside, and now Reyes behind 2-0 on the opposing pitcher. He already walked someone on 4 pitches in this inning. That's going to be in there on the changeup, 2-1. Reyes seems like he couldn't believe that was actually called a strike. That pitch did look a little high. Kind of a blessing there from the home plate umpire. 2-1 to Darvish. Swing and a miss on fastball, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on third. It was first and second, nobody out, but a big double play. And now a strikeout from Reyes. And the Cubs had 2 on, nobody out, but can't get anybody home. Runner stranded at third. Alex Reyes gets out of the jam. We head to the bottom of the second. Still no score on Saturday Night Baseball on WUB Network. Here's Paul DeYoung. 322, 18 homers, 50 RBI, and as you saw, almost a Gold Glove play at the beginning of the inning, and a great turn on a double play later in the inning. So, really, some people have been saying, so who are the MVP favorites right now in the National League? Well, Nolan Arenado has to lead it. Then it's Chris Bryant. And then a lot of people are saying DeYoung is the next choice. That pitch outside, ball 1. Only other guys you could really consider, Justin Turner. Nobody in the Nationals, even though they've got a good record. Harper's been iffy this season. Anthony Rizzo's been solid. And Andrew McCutchen's been great in San Francisco. And then Michael Conforto with the Mets. That pitch is inside, ball 2. And then there's been a lot of discussion, too. How about pitchers? Could they get the MVP award this season? Because you've got Max Scherzer and Garrett Richards still carrying sub 1.4 ERAs halfway through the season. As now Darvish falls behind 3-0 to Paul DeYoung. And he does not want to group something into him. DeYoung also had a homer in last night's game. He and Pham both went deep off John Lester. 3-0 is in there on the lower part of the zone. 3-1 the count. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch, swing and a miss on the cutter. And after it was 3-0, now the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Paul DeJong. The windup, the pitch, swing and a miss, nasty curve at 71. DeJong got ahead 3-0, but Darvish battles back for the K. Strikeout number 2 for Yu Darvish here, and that's the first out of the inning. A quick look at the defense. Jason Hayward won a Gold Glove last season. Good defense. Only thing, Ben Zobrist can be a little slow over at shortstop. 38 years of age and playing shortstop. So here's Matt Carpenter, who's had a very solid year, 271. Power numbers have dipped, only 8 home runs this season. He'd love to get something going here against Yu Darvish. Royals just beat the Astros 3-2 after the Astros had won the day before 8-1 after Evan Gattis hit a 487-foot home run in that game. And Justin Verlander struck out 11 over 7 innings. So no balls and a strike to Matt Carpenter. Darvish with the set. The 0-1 pitch. Carpenter drills one, second base. Baez plays it on a hop, throws to first, got him, and 2 outs. And here's Jose Martinez. And look at this, hitting 100 against lefties. 368 against righties. And he's a righty. That's why he's so uncharacteristic. He can play first base, the outfield, and shortstop in a jam. Very uncharacteristic player. He's got the Gary Sheffield bat wave. So, just a very interesting situation. But the Cardinals have found themselves a good player in this man who spent 8 years in the minor leagues. This is his first full season in the bigs. First pitch there was in there, strike 1. The 0-1 to Martinez. Blasted shortstop. Baez boots it. Rarely will you see Baez mess up a play. And safe at first. And a rare error, pardon me, that was Ben Zobrist, not Javier Baez. Baez never makes mistakes. That was Zobrist. We just mentioned the fact, 38 years old, doesn't have as much motion. The reaction times aren't as good. And a 2-out base runner now with Jed Jerko coming up. And although Jerko bats 7th in the order, 289, 15 home runs, the famous Redbird is getting these fans juiced up. Runner on first after the error, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch to Jed Jerko, 2-seamer in there, strike 1. Darvish is locating his fastball great today. Reyes hasn't had as good of command of his fastball. Darvish seems to have more stuff working for him, at least through these first couple innings. This one drilled third base side, but foul, after Darvish hung a curveball in the middle in, and that's pretty much Jerko's hot zone. 30th pitch of the game, 0-2 to Jerko. Low, 1-2 the count. Nationals lost to the Blue Jays 6-1. Toronto keeping pace with Boston after Yangervis Solarte hit a grand slam. Check swing, Jerko did not go around 2-2. That was a good put-away pitch for Darvish, but Jerko is not a free swinger. He was with the Padres, but he's figured things out. 2-2. Fastball low, and now all of a sudden the count is run full, and Yadier Molina, yet another Cardinal with an average close to 300, stands on deck. 3 balls and 2 strikes, the pitch to Jed Jerko, swing and a miss, he got him on a 4-seamer. Strikeout number 3 for Darvish, an error from Zobrist, but the runner is stranded. After 2, no score here on Saturday Night Baseball on WUB Network. Third inning, it'll start with the man who booted that play, Ben Zobrist, 224 average, a homer, 11 ribbies. Nothing that exciting, but really they don't have any other options at shortstop, and he's the best bat out of those options between he, LaStella, and Mike Freeman. That first pitch fouled off 0-1. Giants still lead the Dodgers 2-0. That Posey home run was the big one. As Zobrist lines one to center, but an easy play for Pham, and that's the first out here at the top of the third inning. There's a quick look at those standings. Brew Crew, Cubs, Cardinals, all close. And this almost has like a postseason feel to it this weekend, with the Brewers playing meaningful baseball against the Phillies for that wild card. Cubs and Cardinals battling it out. And then you got the two best teams in the American League squaring off at Safeco Field. And then two other playoff teams, the Nationals and the Blue Jays, playing each other. Not to mention the Dodgers-Giants rivalry. So a lot of big series going on right now. That first pitch, high and away, 1-0. 1-0 is low, ball 2. It's actually 5 series going on right now where both teams are over 500. Red Sox Mariners this series, Phillies Brewers, Blue Jays Nationals, Astros Royals all fit that mold. As that pitch is an high outside looked like, but it was a strike anyway, 2-1. Diamondbacks beating the Mets right now 4-0 after the Mets bats torched Taijuan Walker in yesterday's game. As the Mets, for the third time in their last 7 contests, including the Yankees game that was shown on here, hit a grand slam in the first inning. It was Wilmer Flores in that Yankees game. Then against the Marlins, Todd Frazier did it. And then Asdrubal Cabrera just did it in a Diamondbacks game. Anyway, 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Baez. And he swings and misses at a changeup. Alex Reyes racks up his 4th strikeout, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. And Baez not happy with the home plate umpire. Just take a quick look. Let's take a quick look once again at who our umpiring crew is today. It's James Kingsley at home plate, and Larry Bullard is the home plate ump. Pardon me, the crew chief at third base. He'll be the home plate ump in tomorrow's game, as that pitch is low and inside, ball 1. Tomorrow in this series will also be a big game, as it'll be Jack Flaherty, the rookie for the Cardinals, taking on Kyle Hendricks. That pitch up and away, 2-0. Remember, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe or also drop a like. And we've got videos coming up soon. NPCS finale coming tomorrow. 2-0. Ooh, Molina couldn't hold on to that one. Some of these veteran defensive players not hanging on to the ball that well. Zobrist had the issue in the last inning. Now Yadier Molina couldn't catch an easy fastball. 3-0 to Hayward. Change up taken all the way. 3-1 the count. Reyes already, 42nd pitch, 3-1 to Hayward. Swing and a miss on a fastball, 3-2. And this is the moral of this game. Pitchers falling behind hitters, 2-0, 3-0, and then coming back for the strikeout. Reyes looking to finish off Hayward. Swing and a miss, he got him. That will retire the side. Middle of the 3rd, no score between the Cubs and the Cardinals here on Saturday Night Baseball on WUB Network. Vasgerge and DeRosa, please sack the announcers on MLB Network. At some point, we will send it over to them for an inning. But right now, it's still Eddie Kalegi here on WUB Network. Yadier Molina will step to the batter's box to lead off. It'll be Molina, then the 9-man in the order, the pitcher, as the first pitch to Molina is low, ball 1. So it'll be Molina, Reyes, and then back to the top of the order with Colton Wong. I forgot to mention the Indians Twins, so there's actually 6 series where both teams are over 500 right now. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And then, you know, to balance out, you've got Mets, Diamondbacks, and Tigers, White Sox as some of the series going on right now as well. One ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on a 2-seamer. And Molina's behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is starting to look like a pitcher's duel. Like that game we did a couple weeks ago between the Phillies and Dodgers. Last time we did a game, the Mets-Yankees, that was not a pitcher's duel whatsoever. That slider is up and away, 2-2 the count. Second time we've done a live game of both of these teams. We did opening day between the Cardinals and the Mets, and the Cubs and the Brewers earlier in the season. Both of these teams came out victorious in said games. 3-2 now after a 12-6 curveball missed outside. 3-2 to Yadier Molina. Molina cracks one left field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Not able to get over there fast enough with Schwarber, and it's a leadoff single for Yadier Molina. Molina's had a hot streak going, and he'll continue it here with a single into left. Up comes Reyes. You'd expect him to bunt here. Only a 182 hitter, which is decent for a pitcher, but obviously not great. Reyes is going to drop to bunt, but he's going to not be able to get that low cutter. 1-0 the count. Molina does not have much wheels over at first base, so a bad bunt could result in a double play. 1-0, Reyes drops again, and he gets this one down. Rizzo throws to second, one down to first, double play, and that's exactly what we feared. Rizzo down to Zobrist, who was able to get down to Baez. Watch Javier Baez on the right part of the screen. He just sprints right to first base. This Joe Madden preaches defense, and that was perfect defense there. Obviously, the fact that Molina and Reyes are not going to be winning any running races is another factor for that double play. But quickly, the runner on base eliminated as Colton Wong, top of the order, back up here, as that one's popped foul. Cardinals no runs on one hit. The Cubs have a pair of singles. No extra base hits yet in this game, as that fastball is going to be up and away, ball one. And I believe each pitcher has walked a batter, and then obviously Zobrist had that error to get a man to reach. 1-1. It's going to be inside on a two-seamer, 2-1. 2-1. Wong pops it up, shallow right, in foul territory. Rizzo backs up. He'll make the play, and that ends the inning. A hit, nobody left. We're through 3 here at Busch Stadium. No score between the Cubs and the Cards here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Here's Chris Bryant. He grounded out his first time. You can see obviously getting friendly with a good buddy of his, Yadier Molina. They see each other quite a lot. This is only the second series between these two teams this season. They still have to play each other 4 more times. First pitch from Reyes to Chris Bryant is going to be in there all the way, strike number 1. Oh, 1 from Reyes to Bryant, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Reyes has been spotty today, but when he's in it, he is fooling hitters. He misses there, 1-2. That pitch is going to miss. 2-2 the count. Two and two. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 to Bryant. It's going to miss low, ball 4. For now, let's turn it over to Matt Vasquez, Dan Plesac, and Mark DeRosa as Kyle Schwarber comes to the plate with a runner on and nobody out.
He's able to lay off 3 pitches in a row, and he's standing on first with no outs. Riding in once again, Kyle Schwarber. He'll look to bounce back after striking out his last time up. Halfway to 100 pitches, here it is. Now a check swing, but it's strike one anyway, says the home plate umpire.
Great job of getting back in the zone with a hard fastball after the walk. I think he might have let a little frustration out with that pitch.
Upset with the 0-1. Took a wave and one around the shins with no luck.
In a double play situation, that's...
All right, no balls, 2 strikes. Past 50 pitches is Reyes. This would be a big strikeout to get rid of Schwarber and not worry about his home run bat. That pitch is going to get away from Molina, headed to second base, and in safely is Bryant, and now a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
The pitch before was way out of the zone, and he was hacking. So the pitcher says, hey, he's going to swing at that. How about this? Solid strategy, except this time it didn't work out. And it's a
Molina tried to block that one. So now 1 ball, 2 strikes, and now a single could give the Cubs the lead. 1-2 to Schwarber. This one is blasted down the first base line, but foul is the call from first base umpire Patrick Johnson, and we'll go again. 1-2, outside, ball 2. 2-2. Schwarber fouls that one off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner on second, nobody out. Reyes checks Bryant, the 2-2. Ooh, almost got Schwarber. And now, after he'd gotten ahead 0-2 with 2 swing and misses, a wild pitch and a couple of balls, along with a couple of foul balls, and now the count's full. And Reyes is in danger of issuing back-to-back walks. 3-2. Low ball 4. Back-to-back walks now. First and second. Nobody out for Anthony Rizzo. Third free pass issued by Alex Reyes. And now Anthony Rizzo's going to come up. 1 for 1 with a single back in the second. He'd love to replicate that and give the Cubs the lead. As I said earlier, from the beginning, you could tell Yu Darvish, although this is scoreless right now, Darvish has more composure today than Reyes. As a changeup misses badly, almost sends Molina sprawling to the ground trying to get to it, 1-0. And also time to start keeping an eye on that pitch count for Alex Reyes. About to hit 60 pitches here in the 4th inning. 1-0 to Molina, to Rizzo. Molina grabs it, but it's up and away 2-0. 2-0 to Rizzo is going to miss low, 3-0. Wilson Contreras is on deck. Reyes 1 ball away from issuing 3 walks in a row. 3-0 to Rizzo. High and away, ball 4. So after being ahead 0-2 on Schwarber, 4 out of 5 pitches out of the zone, and he walks him, and now 4 straight balls to Rizzo, and now he's walked 3, 4, and 5, and will bring up the dangerous Wilson Contreras with the bases juiced and nobody out, and Contreras has drawn a walk already. Only 2 hits for the guys from Chi-Town, but 4 walks drawn. And that one's in there, strike 1 on a fastball, 0-1 at 97 miles an hour. Reyes' velocity has also dipped a little. He can usually hit 100 or 101 in games, and he has not gotten a triple-digit pitch yet in this game. 0-1 to Contreras. 97 gets away from him, 1-1. Overall, that's pitch number 9 out of the last 11 out of the zone for Alex Reyes. 1-1 in their strike 2. Cardinals hoping to win this game because a youngster making only his second big league start against Kyle Hendricks, who almost won the NL Cy Young last season, might not be a good omen for what's to come tomorrow. Anyway, 1-2 to Contreras, inside ball 2. Remember, still nobody out. Bryant reached on a walk, moved to second on a wild pitch. Schwarber walked, Rizzo walked. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2-2 to Contreras with Ian Happ on deck. It's no score here, top of the 4th inning from Busch Stadium. Contreras checks on third base, 2-2. That's going to miss low on his curveball. Now the count is full, and Reyes 1 ball away from walking his 4th consecutive batter. He grabs the rosin bag for the first time all game to try to maybe get some composure. These Cardinal fans look concerned. Nobody out. 66 pitches now for Reyes. 3-2 to Contreras. Swing and a miss. He got him on a changeup. Big strikeout for Reyes. That's the first out of the inning. Here's Ian Happ now. 273 average, 14 bombs, 39 RBI. Really burst onto the scene out of nowhere last year and is the everyday center fielder on this team after Jorge Soler left and Albert Almora's role was absorbed. Almora and Fowler. First pitch is in there, strike 1 on the 2-seamer, 0-1. Reyes trying to work out of the ultimate jam. Bases loaded, nobody out. Almost as many balls as strikes, and that's not good. 33 balls, 36 strikes as he's about to throw pitch number 70 with 1 out in the 4th inning. 1-1. Swing and a miss on a 2-seamer on the hands. 1-2 the count. Trying to get out of this. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch to Happ. Curveball misses a bit inside, 2-2. 2-2. Low and away, ball 3. And he's got a 3-ball count for the 5th straight batter. Yu Darvish stands on deck. Happ grounded into a big double play when the Cubs had a threat in the 2nd inning. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He got him on the fastball up and away. Reyes strikes out his 7th batter in the 4th inning. And after it was bases loaded, nobody out. Now bases loaded, 2 outs with the opposing pitcher coming up. And Reyes has the chance to pitch out of the ultimate jam. But he's going to be up near 80 pitches when this is all said and done this inning, so he might not last more than 5 in this one. Fortunately, the Cardinals have a much better bullpen than Chicago statistically this season, as the first pitch is up and away, ball 1. He walked the first 3 batters of the inning, as that fastball, I don't know where that was, 2-0. This would be horrible if he would end up walking the opposing pitcher with the bases loaded to force in the first run. 98 miles an hour fastball, 2-1 the count to Yu Darvish. Darvish hitting 103 on the season, his 2nd year in the senior circuit, which means getting to bat after spending 6 years with the Rangers. Swings at a fastball high up there, 1-2. Reyes got 8 strikeouts through 4. That's a lot of strikeouts. A lot like that game we saw with Chris Sale where he struck out 18 in that game against Baltimore. As Darvish rips one into left. That's going to fall for a base hit. Bryant's coming home. Schwarber right behind him. A 2-run single for Yu Darvish. And the Cubs lead it 2-0. Unbelievable. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And the opposing pitcher, Yu Darvish, gets some run support for himself, dropping a 2-run single into left. I don't know what was going on there. For some reason, Martinez and Pham were playing crazy deep for Yu Darvish being at the dish. And now Zobrist is going to bat. And that first pitch is well out of the zone, 1-0. And now Yu's got some run support. Cubs, this is kind of a big game for them. You know, they lose, they could find themselves 6 games out. And then 2 games out of the wild card. As Zobrist rips one deep right field. Back near the foul pole. That one is out of here. Ben Zobrist with the 3-run shot. And the Cubs have broken this open. Reyes is mad. Ben Zobrist curls one around the foul pole. And the Cubs lead the Cardinals 5-0 here. And Joe Madden is happy. 3 walks to open the inning, then back-to-back Ks for Reyes, then a 2-run single from Yu Darvish, and a 3-run blast from Zobrist. Only Zobrist's 2nd home run of the season. For anyone to blast him, I mean, Darvish and Ben Zobrist, and that's going to do it. Mike Matheny is going to pull Alex Reyes after 3 2/3, and Tyler Lyons, who has had a great year out of the pen, is going to come in and pitch here in the 4th inning. What a difference 2 batters can make, even if it's Yu Darvish, the opposing pitcher, and a 38-year-old shortstop. So the day ends for Reyes going 3 2/3, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, and he did strike out 7. ERA still remains at 2.72, and he's not responsible for anybody else. Back to the top of the order, here's Javi Baez. First pitch is a sinker in there, strike 1. Lions 3-0 and ERA sub-3, one of the many good arms in this Cardinal pen, and they're going to need them to shut down these Cubs for these future innings to have any shot at winning the series tonight. 0-1, Baez swings at the same exact pitch, 0-2.
30 years of age. He was a 9th-round pick back in the 2010 first year.
Molina with the sign. Lions agrees. The 0-2 to Baez is going to be low and away, 1-2 the count. 1-2 to Baez. Baez cracks one foul down the first base side and it rams off the tarp. 1-2. Crazy inning here for Chicago. 8th man up is Baez, and he watches that one low, 2-2. Back-to-back walks, then back-to-back strikeouts, then the big 2-run single for Darvish, and the 3-run bomb from Zobrist. And now Baez is caught looking. 8th time the Cubs have gone down on strikes, but they used strike for 5 in the inning. Yu Darvish with a 2-run single, and then Ben Zobrist with a bomb all the way to right. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It's 5-0 Chicago here on WUB Network. Cardinals looking to replicate what the Cubs just did offensively. They'll start with Dexter Fowler here. Fowler, Pham, and Carpenter. So it's Pham and Young to face Yu Darvish, who just gave himself some of his own run support as swing and a miss from Fowler, strike 1. Only 1 hit allowed by Darvish so far. A bloop single into left field. He's only faced 1 more than the minimum. 0-1. Here's the pitch. Fowler rips one foul, and it's 0-2. 5-0 Cubs here, bottom of the 4th inning. 0-2. Fowler falls to his knees, drives one deep, but it's going to be foul. The 0-2 from Darvish. Fowler pops one up right behind home plate. Contreras running back. Makes the catch right along the stands. What a catch by Contreras for the first out of the inning. Contreras forced to play every day, basically, as the Cubs catcher until Victor Caratini comes back from injury. They've used Hector Sanchez. They've used Hector Jimenez this season, and neither of them have been nearly as effective. First pitch is in there, strike 1. That's pitch number 50 from Yu Darvish. Facing Tommy Pham, went down on strikes his first time. 0-1 to Pham. Pham drives one right field. Hayward's got a beat on it and makes the catch, and that's the second out of the inning. Here's Paul DeYoung. 0 for 1. He struck out back in the second inning. Darvish shakes off Contreras. Now he agrees on the sign. First pitch from Darvish to Paul DeYoung. DeYoung drives one left field, but it's going to hang up there. Schwarber on the move, makes the catch, and a very easy 1-2-3 inning for Yu Darvish. After 4, it's 5-0 Chicago. We'll head to the 5th here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. And for the next couple innings, we're going to turn it over to Matt Vasgersian, Mark DeRosa, and Dan Plesac. We'll be back. 5-0 the score.
First pitch of the at-bat. And, boy, a high strike ball there. That's not all that consistent, but it's strike one. Cardinals are going to get something going in the bullpen now as the left-hander has begun to get loose. Wind up and the 0-1. Got a big pass at a slider that gets passed up. This little slider.
Those were two great executed pitches right there away from this batter. He can hurt you in a heartbeat. I don't think anything's going to leak out over the heart of the plate.
Counts even to Hayward, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. And he tried to hold up that time. We'll get the field down to third, and no swing. It's ball 3. This is on the ground over the first. And they'll flip it to the pitcher covering for the out. So stepping in, Chris Bryant. Here comes the first pitch. And that sinker misses at the shoe tops. Ball 1. 1 out, nobody on. That's wide, 2-0. Swing and a miss on what should have been ball 3. Instead, the count goes to 2-1.
You know, that can really be an effective pitch to a guy that has a lot of pop. They're up there looking for a fastball up in the zone, so if you can place it a little above it, they have a hard time getting the barrel up there.
And he'll just get a piece here as this is chopped foul at home plate. Look out. Don't want to hit him there. It's full 3-2.
Interesting sequence of pitches right there. A real ugly swing on a ball away, and it looks like the batter has a much better idea of what he's looking for after that second pitch.
Grounder hit hard down the first baseline. This will get foul, so they'll do it again. 3-2. There's ball 4.
Well, the reason power hitters generally draw more walks than other guys is exactly what we saw right there. Pitchers work around them and nibble the corners a lot more so they don't get burned. He made some good pitches, but he just couldn't get him to chase enough out of the zone.
Digging in, Kyle Schwarber in head-to-head action against Tyler Lyons. He's 0 for 4. Ready with the first pitch. Here it comes. There's a slider to start things out. Looked at for ball 1.
This is where he might need a mound visit, whether it be from the shortstop, his pitching coach, or the catcher. These last couple of pitches have certainly gotten away from him.
Bryant leads off to Schwarber.
You know, the old adage is you never throw a lefty down and in because their ability to turn and burn, and this pitcher's taking that to heart. He's throwing everything away right here.
The 1-1 pitch. And they'll go off speed here as this pitch misses. It's 2-1. A bullet to first base. And now they'll tag him out between first and second. It's a double play, and the inning is over. So a good bounce back inning here after the 5-run outburst last time around. Last half of the fifth coming up. It's the Cubs 5 and the Cardinals nothing. Here's Matt Carpenter. They'll start things out here in the home fifth, and it's been tough sledding for this lineup through the first half of the game.
Yeah, they haven't had any momentum going to the plate so far in this one, Matt. They need something to break their way to wake them up a bit.
Nice to get these fans involved at some point as well. First pitch of the at-bat on its way. And that one stayed too low, apparently. Slider stayed too low, ball 2. 0. Wave and a miss, a tick behind a good fastball. 2-2. Swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. A little bit over halfway home tonight. Bottom of the fifth as we get a look at our combined score to this point. And boy, just one hit for these guys, and they have not swung the bats well. That's putting it mildly. The next to bat for St. Louis, Jose Martinez comes in 0 for 1 on the day thus far after reaching on an error his first time up. From the stretch. Zobrist now is short. Fielded cleanly. Throw, and he's pulled out on a close play at first. Here's Jet Jerko now. Looking to put the ball in play here. He went down on strikes in his first at-bat. Here's the first pitch to him. This little slider. Two out, nobody on. Bouncer up the middle. There to play with Zobrist. Throwing the dirt, but a good scoop at first, saves an error as this side is retired. Down in order go the Cardinals. They can't chip into that 5-0 deficit. Digging in once again, Anthony Rizzo set to lead us off in the 6th inning. First pitch coming, here it is. And that one just missed outside. Ball 2.
Pitching isn't always about getting everyone out. Sometimes it's about being smart and knowing when to pick your battles. He's been really careful with this hitter so far, and rightfully so.
The 2-0. It's in there for strike 1.
like he was a little bit out front on that breaking ball right there. The body can go a little bit. If he was able to keep his hands back a little bit, he might have been able to do some damage with that pitch.
Now he gets on top of one here and chops it foul right at home plate. And it's up to a 3-2 full count now. Wilson Contreras waits on deck. Either guy giving in. Here's the next one. He can only battle for so long as he's finally set down here after an 8-pitch at-bat.
Flat out locked him up with a changeup right there. Usually you're trying for a swing and miss when you throw that pitch in a 2-strike count, but clearly he wasn't looking for it, so it's a backwards game for him.
Here's the young catcher, Wilson Contreras. He was sat down on strikes in his last at-bat. And the pitch. First pitch is a changeup for a called strike.
You know, you look at this hitter, he doesn't care about being down 0-1. He doesn't care about having 2 strikes with him. He's got the utmost confidence in his ability to work back into the count and get him something over the heart of the plate.
Line drive to center field. Bam! It's there now, and he has it. 2 gone. Digging in the switch hitter, Ian Happ. He's 0 for 2 in the ballgame so far. Here comes the first pitch. Now a check swing, but he holds up in time. 0-1. Bases are empty here with 2 men out. And that's right there, and we're even at 1. From the windup, the 1-1 pitch. And there's a sinker that he just spits on as it misses low. 2-1 pitch is swung on and hit in the air out to center field. Fowler is under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So they're held in check here this half of the inning. We'll see 8, 9, and 1 due up in the bottom of inning number 6. Cubs lead it 5-0. Here's the catcher, Yadier Molina, to start things out in their half of the 6th as they look to shake things up here for a lineup that quite frankly has been non-existent today.
No doubt about that. They've been completely overmatched at this point. 1 hit through 5 innings. I mean, what else can you say about the pitching they faced other than it's been fantastic? We'll see if that continues as we approach the later innings.
First delivery to him on the way. Called strike over the outside part of the plate. And a fastball just below the knees, ball 1. He's set. Here comes the 1-1. 1-2 now. The 1-2. It's a wave and a miss. He struck him out.
He's been in total control out there tonight. Gets the leadoff guy with a strikeout there, and it just seems like we've seen so many off-balance swings and weakly hit balls in this one.
Rick Garcia moved into the on-deck circle now to try to get something started here with 1 gone in the inning. Pulled high in the air out to right field. Hayward has a read on it. 2 down. So the lineup flips Here's the first offering. Curveball that catches the inside corner. Popped him up. Rizzo has moved in foul territory. And the inning is over. Make it 6 shutout innings as he continues to give them fits out there. We're through 6 full. The Cubbies are in front 5-0. Welcome back to Busch Stadium here in St. Louis. Getting set for the 7th now with the Cubs out in front. And before the inning gets underway, let's get a look at our game summary to this point. Sean Gilmore is on the pitch from the bullpen now to start inning number 7. Next, it'll be the pitcher, Yu Darvish. They'll be tasked with starting things as we begin the 7th. Here's the pitch. First pitch of the inning is taken downstairs for a ball. It's 1-0. Swing and a liner. Foul. The 1-1 home. Swung on and missed for strike number 2. Hit in the air down the left field line. And this will wind up a foul ball. Fastball, ball, strike 3, and there's the first out of the inning. Stepping in, Ben Zobrist.
That last at-bat was like he turned around a pretty good fastball.
All right, just to let you guys know, I will be back commentating in about 2 minutes, so just stay posted for that. Still 5-0 Cubs, so I'll be commentating this in just a couple moments. 5-0 Cubs here on Saturday Night Baseball. Thank you to Matt Vasgersian, Mark DeRosa, and Dan Plesac, who are commentating for the last couple innings. And the story of this game is that 4th inning for the Cubs. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And what happened in that 4th inning? Alex Reyes, who had been solid through the first 3, walked 3, 4, 5 in the Cubs order. Bryant, Schwarber, and Rizzo. Then he struck out 6 and 7. He got Contreras and Happ back-to-back. But then Yu Darvish hit a 2-run single in a 1-2 count, and then Ben Zobrist went deep. And that's the scoring in this game to make this a 5-0 ball game. As Baez thrown out, it's stretch time now at Busch Stadium, and it looks like the Cubs might be making this a rubber match tomorrow. 5-0 Chicago, still only 1 hit allowed by Yu Darvish, but let's see what he can do as the heart of the Cardinals order comes up. It'll start with Dexter Fowler, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-out on the night. We'll have some updates on the other games, because remember, we did have some voting in our WUB Network Discord, which if you haven't joined, please do. So anyway, first pitch is going to be up and in, ball 1. And the games was either Indians-Twins, Red Sox-Mariners, or this game. Other big games tonight, the Giants and the Dodgers. It's currently 2-0 San Francisco in a Kenta Maeda-Buster Posey pitchers duel. Kenta Maeda-Madison Bumgarner pitchers duel. Yeah, you are right now. We had a couple other viewers earlier on in the game. But I mean, it's a busy Saturday night. There's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world. There's an IndyCar race. I know that's taking some viewers away. 2-1 now, the count. So, just a reminder, tomorrow night, the Progressive Cup Series finale at Charlotte. Busch, Larson, Stenhouse, Harvick battle for a title. And Speed Weeks is coming up. We got Daytona on the way. We got work getting done here at Daytona. They're working on the track, getting it all set. Yep, as Dexter Fowler goes deep right center field. That one's going to be well gone. And the Cardinals are going to break up the shutout in the one-hitter. 423 feet from Dexter Fowler as he goes yard, and it's 5-1. Ninth home run of the year for Dexter Fowler, and St. Louis is on the board here with nobody out in the seventh. Darvish's pitch count still only at 72 pitches. Second hit of the game, and man, it was a no doubt home run. Look at the exit velocity, 111, launch angle of 31 degrees. Both home runs in this game have gone deep into right field. That's where Zobrist was. Zobrist had to be curved around the foul pole. So the Cardinals on the board, and a little bit of life now here at St. Louis as Tommy Pham comes to the plate. First pitch to Pham is going to be up the middle, base hit. So Darvish starting to lose his luster. Only allowed one hit through the first 6 innings, but a home run to Fowler and a bullet single by Pham, and the Cardinals are in business. Still only 73 pitches, but as much as Joe Madden wouldn't want to go to the bullpen because this bullpen has been atrocious this season from Chicago, he might have to, as now that pitch is ridiculously high, 1-0. So the Blue Jays beating the Nationals, and obviously Boston's loss to Seattle last night, means that that division is separated by just 2.5 games. As Boston and Seattle get started in a little while. David Price against King Felix. As this one driven to right field, but it's going to curve foul. Paul DeYoung almost had another homer. 51 of Bucci Wucci. Nope, I have no idea. As that pitch is going to be outside ball 2. One other thing that we do want to announce about Daytona Speed Weeks for the upcoming Progressive Cup Series season is that the broadcasters have announced that qualifying will be televised on WUB Network. So front row qualifying will be on WUB Network during Speed Weeks before the clash. As DeYoung lines one into left field, a base hit, and the Cardinals have gone back to back to back and now have as many hits as the Cubs. 4 base knocks. 3 of them have come in this inning for St. Louis. From Fowler, Pham, and Paul DeYoung. And now Matt Carpenter will bat. As Darvish has failed to retire a batter in this inning after only allowing 1 hit, a bloop single over 6 innings. And now Justin Wilson, who has been one of those guys who's had an absolute embarrassment of a season, he begins to warm up. Carpenter dribbles the first pitch foul, 0-1. This game is long from over, folks. There's still a lot that can happen. Cubs 2 swings of the bat, and they made it a 5-0 game. As that one's in there, 0-2 the count. Carl Edwards Jr. begins to warm up as well. He's usually the 8th inning man, and then Pedro Strop is the closer. After Wade Davis, Koji Uehara, they're both gone. Uehara retired. Wade Davis off to the Rockies. 0-2. That pitch is up and in on a fastball, 1-2. Yes, different Carl Edwards. 1-2. As that's going to be inside ball 2. Darvish now up over 80 pitches, so I don't think he's going past this inning. The real question actually is, does he make it out of this inning? Darvish checks the runner at second, 2-2. Carpenter drives one deep right center field. Back goes Hayward near the wall. It's a 1-run game. Matt Carpenter with a 3-run shot. Cardinals 4 hits in a row here in the 7th inning, and they've made it a 5-4 game. Fowler goes deep. Back-to-back singles from Paul DeYoung and Pham, and now a home run. Oh my goodness, it's 5-4 now. Matt Carpenter only his 9th home run of the season. Hanging slider from Yu Darvish. Right down the pipe. and it's a one-run game. And that's probably going to be all for Darvish, who after 6 innings had only given up 1 hit, and then just had nothing left here in the 7th. 4 consecutive hits, 2 home runs, 4 earned runs, and a frustrated Yu Darvish leaves after a 6 blemishless inning gem before this one. And now who did they bring in, Wilson or Carl Edwards Jr.? I mean, I'd turn it right to Edwards Jr. Actually, no, it's going to be Steve Cishek who's coming in. 39 games, a 4.34 ERA. Righties only hitting 190 against him, and righties, 3 consecutive righties, in fact, of Martinez, Jerko, and Molina coming up. Brandon Morrow's now also warming in the bullpen. And how has this game changed? It's gone from 5-0 to 5-4. First pitch fouled off, 0-1. To Jose Martinez. Throws that one to the backstop, 1-1. Yes, I did see some of Road America. That was a crazy race. I was hoping Bill Elliott would have won. So 1 ball, 1 strike already. 4 runs in the inning for St. Louis. And Cubs have not recorded an out. The submarine pitcher Cishek's 1-1 is a slider low and away, 2-1. Cishek is a good pitcher, but he's had many meltdowns where he just can't throw strikes. 2-1. This one's drilled. Great play by Rizzo. What a pick. That's why he's a Gold Glove first baseman. And the Cubs finally retire a Cardinal this inning after 4 in a row had reached base. 4 big swings of the bat this whole game have defined it. The Yu Darvish 2-run single, the Ben Zobrist 3-run shot, the solo home run from Fowler, and the 3-run shot from Carpenter. My favorite team is the Mets. As the first pitch, Jerko fouls that one off, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch to Jed Jerko. He's going to blast another one into the seats, 0-2. Why the Mets? Well, they're my local team. Everybody in my family likes the Mets. So, that's the reason I like the Mets. 0-2 swing and a miss. Down goes Jed Jerko, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. Jed Jerko throws his bat in frustration. And now here's Yadier Molina. He had the only other single in this game prior to this inning. He was the only one to get a hit off Darvish in the first 6 innings. And now Darvish has to just be relieved that he had that 2-run single earlier, or else this would just be a 4-3 game right now, as that pitch is outside, ball 1. No, I'm from New Jersey. Anyway, 1-0 pitch is going to be low and away, 2-0 the count. But anyway, the Cubs also had an opportunity in the 2nd inning to score. 2-0 from Cishek. Molina fouls that one off, 2-1. Where they had 1st and 2nd, nobody out. But then an amazing 6-4-3 double play where Colton Wong made a barehanded play. And then Yu Darvish came up and rounded out. 2-1, grounded right back to first. Rizzo steps on the bag. And doing his job was Steve Cishek, getting the Cardinals 1-2-3, but not before the Cardinals notched 4 runs on 4 hits, including 2 bombs by Dexter Fowler and Matt Carpenter. It's a 1-run game as we head to the 8th here on Saturday Night Baseball on WUB Network. Here's Hayward, 0 for 3, a ground out and 2 strikeouts, not having a great game. Now Jason Hayward, as Sean Gilmartin, former Mets and Twins pitcher. First pitch is low, ball 1. Now, a funny story to tell about Jason Hayward, because this is the 4th season sim we've done. And out of any weird statistics ever, Jason Hayward had the weirdest one last season. He started the season 10 for 12. So he had a batting average of .870 through the first 3 games. And then after that, He went 10 for his next 120 plate appearances, and his batting average dropped to the 160s. And then he ended up still getting 32 home runs. So that is still the weirdest statistic I've ever seen. 2-1. Yes, I play golf on my high school team. Larson fan. I used to play like rec basketball and flag football. 2-1 to Hayward. Check swing, pop up, and Jerko makes the play coming in, and that's the first out of the 8th inning. So let's just take a look at the pitching statistics in this game. Whoops, wrong tab. Okay, the Cardinals, remember, Alex Reyes got knocked around 3 2/3, 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, but he did K 7. Then Tyler Lyons, 2 1/3, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and Gil Martin's retired all 4 he's faced. The Cubs, Darvish ends in line for the win with 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 5 strikeouts, and then a scoreless 3 outs from Cishek. So a 5-run top of the 5th for the Cubs, a 4-run bottom of the 7th for the Cardinals. Here's Chris Bryant, who drew the walk in the 5th inning to open up everything in that chaotic 5-run inning off Alex Reyes about an hour ago. First pitch is low and away, ball 1. And that was the 4th inning, not the 5th inning. Red Sox and Mariners still haven't gotten underway. Based on the timing of the game, they should start soon. So once we see on the bottom of the screen that they do start, we'll get you an update. As Bryant fouls that one back 1-1. Remember, those are the 2 best teams in the American League. And if you haven't seen the highlights of Game 1 of that series, they were uploaded yesterday. As Bryant bloops one, shallow center, coming in on the run, unable to get there is Pham. It's a 1-out single for Chris Bryant. Favorite YouTube channel? Well, I like a lot of YouTube channels. That's actually a tough choice because there's different categories. Obviously, there's the friends of mine that race in the VRC, and I love Miss Craft's channel. But big YouTube channel, I'm not into vloggers. I'm only into like sports YouTubers. So it's tight between TD Barrett, Eric Estep, Aflac Cup Series, and David Land. Those have to be the 4. 0-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Gil Martin looking good, but Chris Bryant did beat him. Fortunately, the lefty faces back-to-back lefties here in Schwarber and Rizzo, who can be free swingers on occasion. 0-2 from Gil Martin, swing and a miss, down goes Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber goes down on 3 pitches, and that's the 2nd out here for the top of the 8th inning, and that'll bring up Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Cubs trying to get a little extra run support for that lackluster bullpen. I don't know if Cishek will come back for the 8th, especially since there are lefties coming in, so that pitch is high and away, 1-0. So it's a tough choice for the Cubs about who they bring in the 8th inning. Carl Edwards Jr., Brandon Morrow, Justin Wilson, or stay with Cishek. They don't really have a defined setup, man, as that pitch is upstairs, 2-0. And then Pedro Strop is their defined closer and has been relatively reliable. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch from Gil Martin to Rizzo is in there, a fastball, only 90 miles an hour, though, for Gil Martin, 2-1. Jeff Butterfield, the third base coach, calling some shots. Let's see, maybe it would be a hit and run. Not running, but that pitch gets away at 90 miles an hour, 3-1. Wilson Contreras stands on deck. 3 balls and a strike. Gil Martin checks the runner at first. 3-1 to Rizzo. That was probably the best pitch to hit there. Middle in fastball. Rizzo lets it go by and the count is full. Runner on first, 2 outs. 5-4 Cubs, top of the 8th inning. 3-2 to Rizzo. Rizzo drills one to first base, but an easy play for Carpenter, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, one left. We head to the bottom of the 8th. 5-4 Cubs on Saturday Night Baseball. So I just saw your question, Larson fans. Second favorite driver, I'd say any underfunded driver / Eric Almirola is probably my second favorite behind Truex. Here's Carl Edwards Jr., 2-1, a 4.76 though. And you look at those numbers, lefty's hitting .417 against him. And knowing those percentages, Mike Matheny's going to send up his strong lefty pinch hitter, Harrison Bader. Actually, no, he's a righty, silly. Colton Wong is a lefty though, and you're going to expect Fowler to bat from the left side. But righties haven't been too shabby either, 333 against Edwards. First pitch is inside, ball 1. Yes, I did see that. Edwards 1-0. Misses low and away, 2-0. So Darvish pitched 6 scoreless innings, and then the 7th inning was a different story. Cubs bullpen so far 3 for 3. What can they do here? Swing and a miss on a fastball, 2-1. Pedro Strop is warming up in the Cub pen, so I think if Edwards gets in any issues, they'll bring in Strop a little early. 2-1 to the pinch hitter, Harrison Bader. Bader dribbles one, coming off the mound is Edwards, fires to first, got him, 1 out here in the last of the 8th. Colton Wong, the top of the order, comes back around. Long popped out in the 6th inning, 0 for 3. Average has dropped to 258. He got sent to the minors last season and then was hurt for a while, but is having a much more steady year here in St. Louis. That pitch is high and inside 1-0, especially since Aledmys Diaz is gone. He went to Toronto. As it's 1-0. Each team has 5 hits. 1-0. That pitch is low. 2-0 the count. After him, it'll get to those guys who burned Yu Darvish last inning, so that should be interesting. As Wong rips one hard foul down the first base side, 2-1. Bottom of the 8th, 5-4 Cubs. Cubs need 5 outs to get a much-needed victory and get back within 4 games of the Cardinals in the NL Central. Brewers right smack in the middle. As Dexter Fowler stands on deck, went deep in the last inning. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch to Colton Wong. Wong bloops one third base side. Bryant on the run going back. Makes the nice catch. And that's the 2nd out here of the bottom of the 8th inning. So up comes Dexter Fowler. So remember, each team is without a star who was injured early in the season. Marcelo Zuna needed Tommy John surgery and is probably gone for most of next season as well. Cubs lost Addison Russell back in April to an ankle injury. And now the 3rd team in this race, the Brewers, just lost Eric Thames for the year on a dislocated ankle, suffered in today's game against the Phillies, which they dropped 4-2. Right now, that would actually be the wild card game matchup, with the Cubs 1 game out, just narrowly missing the playoffs. Nationals, Cardinals, Dodgers, the division winners. 1-1 is outside ball 2. Right now in the American League, the division winners would be the Red Sox, Indians, and Mariners, with the wild card game being the Astros at Toronto. As that pitch misses low, 3-1. Tommy Pham stands on deck. Carl Edwards just trying to get this done so they can get it to Pedro Strop and hope some run support can come in the top of the 9th. As he lays off ball 4, tying run on base. And that is very true. There's been a lot of injuries this season. A lot of big players on the disabled list right now. Mike Trout, Gerard Dyson, Bellinger, the 3 that I mentioned already. All of those guys right now are on the disabled list. Michael Conforto just came back from injury for the Mets. Corey Dickerson is out for the year for Pittsburgh. As that pitch is inside ball 1. The Rockies closer, Scott Oberg, who had closed when Wade Davis was struggling back in April, needed Tommy John surgery. He's gone for the season. Noah Syndergaard is on the disabled list for the Mets after getting plunked with a line drive. As 1-0 is in there, strike one. Pham had a single up the middle and scored on the Matt Carpenter 3-run shot back in the 7th inning. 1-1 to Tommy Pham. Curveball misses, 2-1. I'd say if Pham reaches, Strop is probably going to come in to face Paul DeYoung. 2-1. Pham fouls that one back, 2-2. Okay, favorite football team, Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not a bandwagon jumper, I promise. I've been a fan since going to training camp when I was 4 years old. 2-2. The pitch to Pham struck him out swinging on the fastball, and that'll end the inning. Big strikeout there for Carl Edwards Jr. The Cardinals will strand the tying run on base. We head to the 9th, 5-4 Chicago. There's the Gateway Arch, just about a mile away from Busch Stadium. Here's John Brebbia, 5-1, a 3.02 ERA. He's one of these guys like Gil Martin, Jordan Hicks, who have come out of absolutely nowhere to become great relievers on this Cardinals team. And their starting rotation, they've moved Luke Weaver to AAA and called up Jack Flaherty, and then it's pretty stable. I know Reyes didn't have it today, but the other guys, Reyes, the veteran Wainwright, Michael Wacha, and Carlos Martinez. It'll be Contreras, Happ, and the pitcher's spot. Cubs still have Mike Freeman, Tommy La Stella, Hector Jimenez, and Albert Almora on their bench. 1-0 is going to be outside ball 2. Cardinals still, I believe, have Greg Garcia. I don't really know who else is still available for the Cardinals. That's actually an interesting topic, Larson fan. So let me just get through this pitch. 2-0 is inside ball 3. Contreras with a chance to get on base. Everybody was just driving into each other in that race. Chris Buescher, who's one of the drivers I also like, got screwed by Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch. I don't know. Busch and Truex were racing hard, though. As that pitch inside, Contreras draws the 4-pitch walk. I don't hold 100% of the blame on Kyle Busch. I kind of feel bad for Busch that he kind of got attacked by a fan after the race. And the fact that he had that crazy damaged car from the second lap of the race and got all the way back to second place was pretty impressive. As anyway, here's Ian Happ. And great opportunity to get some run support for Pedro Strop, just in case, because the Cardinals are going to have DeYoung, Carpenter, and Jose Martinez coming up at the bottom of the 9th. First pitch in there, strike one. If anybody wants to come and watch one inning, that's going to be a very interesting bottom of the 9th when DeYoung, Carpenter, Jose Martinez have to face Pedro Strop with the game on the line. Remember, if the Cardinals win, they can stretch this lead over the Cubs to 6 games. 6 games and 4 games is a big difference, even though we're still at the middle of the season. As a nasty slider, and Ian Happ goes down swinging on the pitch from Brebbia. That's the first out of the inning. Nasty slider. Brebbia threw that one perfectly. And they're going to pinch hit with Albert Almora Jr. for the pitcher, because Carl Edwards will be done. So Darvish went 6+, 6 good innings. Then a plus was horrible. Then Cishek and Edwards have retired 6 of the 7 batters they faced. First pitch inside, ball 1. Almora, 299 average, 2 homers, 14 ribbies. Small sample size, though. He does not play that much. 1-0 coming up here to Albert Almora Jr. is in there, strike 1. Contreras on first base, 1 out. Ben Zobrist, who has the biggest blow of the game, the 3-run home run in the 4th, following the Yu Darvish 2-run single. 1-1. Whoa, that got away from Brebbia. 2-1 the count. 2-1. Ground ball, double play ball though. Wong spins, throws to Young. Bare hand down to first, not in time though. So getting there is the speedy Almora, but a guy is retired, so 2 outs, and that'll bring up Javi Baez with the run at first base. Nice play, though, by Colton Wong. And pardon me, Ben Zobrist, not Javi Baez. Here's a look back to the 4th inning when Ben Zobrist hit a huge home run. This one was close, but it was able to curl it around the foul pole, and that's what made it a 5-0 game and chased Alex Rice out of the game. Yes, there are challenges on this game, but they don't happen that often, and since it's on CPU mode, it's not going to happen as often as Zobrist fouls the first pitch off strike 1. But actually, though, we've had some interesting things happen in the CPU games. We've had someone get hit with a line drive. We've had a couple challenges. We've had a beach ball on the field in a game. So things happen. And we had an ejection in a Yankees-Red Sox game. As a swing and a miss, it's 0-2. So it happens, but it's not that frequent. Anyway, John Brebeya is 1 strike away from a very solid 9th inning. 0-2 to Zobrist. Dribbled foul, he fights off the cutter, and it's 0-2. Top of the order on deck. Trying to get a little bit of run support for Pedro Strop. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Nasty slider again. Brebeya K's a pair on the strikeout. 1 left, middle of the 9th, 5-4. Now that was, if you go through the baseball playlist, there's a game that was live. If you find it, it's Cubs-Brewers. It's a full game. And then if you look in the comments, I put the time spot for where that happened. Jason Hayward has to chase after a beach ball. So Cubs-Brewers, it's in the baseball playlist. And then if you go to the comments, I pinned and I have the time spot for where that happened. So anyway, here's Pedro Strop trying to close this thing out. Big inning here. Carpenter, who hit the 3-run home run off Darvish. First pitch from Strop, swing, and a miss on a splitter 0-1. Can Strop win it for St. Louis? Carpenter, Martinez, Martinez, and then the 7-man in the order, who is Jed Jerko. I forgot Paul DeYoung did bat in the last inning, so he doesn't have to be worried about it anymore, but Matt Carpenter is surely a factor. 1-1 to Carpenter. Swing and a miss, another slider, 1-2. Carpenter definitely the biggest threat out of the 3. Martinez the least, and Jerko right smack in the middle. 1-2 to Carpenter. Swing and a miss on a 2-seamer. Down he goes. We got to look at these strikeout numbers, because both teams have racked up so many Ks in this game. 8 strikeouts now by the Cubs staff. Cardinals staff has racked up 13. Every pitcher in the game has racked up multiple Ks. As I just saw on the bottom of the screen, Red Sox Mariners just got underway in the 1st inning. What did it say? Mookie Betts had a single off Felix Hernandez, but they met to the bottom of the 1st. No score. So David Price will head to the mound out there. That pitch is high, ball 1. Right now the Red Sox and Mariners are in a dead tie for the best record in the American League at 43-27. Also tied with the Cardinals for the 2nd best record in baseball. Dodgers have the best at 44-26. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
It's becoming more and more common in today's game to see relievers like this that can run up there close to 100 miles per hour. But it's so fun to watch it. He blew it right by him there.
And this is Carpenter. I got mixed up. I apologize. Paul DeYoung was just up. He struck out. This is Carpenter, and then it's Jose Martinez. Hi, Mason Stovall. You've joined in just in time for the end of the game. So this is Carpenter, who hit the 3-run home run last time up. DeYoung was up. He just struck out on the struck out. The 2-2 is going to be flown center field, carrying but not deep enough. Caught by Happ about 10 feet shy of the warning track, and the Cardinals are down to their final out as the Cubs look to take this one, and it'll come down to Jose Martinez here to try to get something going against Pedro Strop. 0 for 3 for Martinez, who carries a .261 average but an on-base percentage at .418. Cubs bullpen have not allowed a hit yet. First pitch, a slider just misses 1-0. After Martinez, it would be Jed Jerko. Cubs scored 5 in the 4th inning. Cardinals scored 4 in the 7th. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Yu Darvish was great for 6, struggled in the 7th, but the bullpen have picked him up. And the 2 big swings by he and Zobrist to make it 5-0 and get Alex Reyes out of the game have been the factor here for the Cubs, who dropped game 1 of the series and looked to even things up. 2 balls and a strike to Jose Martinez. Contreras the sign, Strop the wind, inside ball 3. And now Jed Jerko waits on deck with his .265 average, .285 average, and 15 home runs. This is a big pitch. 3 balls and a strike to power threat Martinez. High and inside, ball 4. Yes, it will be out tomorrow. The time, I don't know, but the race will be out tomorrow. I'm going to have a Heat 2 video early in the day, and then the Progressive Cup Series finale. And just for someone joining, we do have an announcement that we made earlier on that we've agreed that for Speed Weeks, they're qualifying for the Progressive Cup Series. Front row qualifying will be aired on WUB Network. And there's supposedly 44 cars that are going to compete for 40 spots at Daytona, so it should be fun. Anyway, here is Jerko. First pitch gets away. Contreras grabs it quickly. Martinez decides to stay at first, 1-0. This is huge right here. 1 ball, no strikes. Jerko, the winning run at the plate. He takes that one down and in, 2-0. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th. Cardinals trailing 5-4 with a runner on and 2 outs. Yadier Molina on deck. 2-0. Inside ball 3. And Yadi lurks on deck. Jose Martinez at first. 2 outs. Strop fouled back by Jerko. Oh, my mistake then. But, well, I was close enough. I was only off by 2 minutes, but you did see the beach ball. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 to Jerko. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and the Cardinals are down to their final strike. An exciting game tonight. Cardinals came back. Can they make the ultimate comeback? 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. The pitch, ground ball, shortstop, Zobrist, that should do it. Throw to first, got him by a step, and the Cubs win it 5-4. Cardinals with a late rally, but the Cubs hang on to even up the series with the rubber match tomorrow between Jack Flaherty and Kyle Hendricks. Yu Darvish had a 2-run single in 6 solid innings. Ben Zobrist added a 3-run shot, and Cubs are back within 4 games in the NL Central with just a week to go before the All-Star game. 2 weeks, rather. Frustration there for Alex Reyes and Mike Matheny. Pedro Strop with the save, his 18th. Darvish moves to 6-5. Reyes drops to 4-4. Notables, the player of the game, Ben Zobrist, 1 for 4 with his 3-run shot. Nobody in this game had multiple hits, by the way, which is kind of crazy. 5 runs, 5 hits, and an error for the Cubs. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. We hope you enjoyed here on WUB Network. I'll see you tomorrow for the Progressive Cup Series finale. Hope you enjoyed Saturday Night Baseball. Once again, the final score, the Chicago Cubs 5, the St. Louis Cardinals 4.